my uncle, my aunt's husband,
Yeah.
that's my uncle, right? Who was sexually abusing me. His son was also sexually abusing me in their house. I feel like for me then, I would say maybe, so it looks as if all the people who should protect me,
They were.
they were wanting a piece of the cake of what?
Of what? That's it.
Do you understand? Of a little child. And years after, my younger sister went to live them. By the time we became complete orphans, my younger sister went to live with them. And this same son
still trying to
sexually abuse my younger sister. I'm saying that this guy picked up pedophilia from somewhere.
From his father.
Yeah. Now, because I've seen the patterns in the family, I can begin to say maybe the reason why this one is behaving like this is because if you trace it, I'm saying tracing back to 30 years ago, there are examples of sexual abuse in my father.
In their lineage, yeah.
So me, I can be born on my own and not God because of the lineage where I was born into.
So that bloodline.
Somebody must do something or I do something to somebody.
I understand.
It's a funny approach I'm bringing to this topic now because I've spoken about this over the years and I didn't used to emphasize on the spiritual part of different forms of abuse, especially sexual abuse. However, if it's a pattern that exists in your family or lineage, it will need to hide so that it can operate. Abraham and Sarah did not have children on time.
The same thing played out.
The same thing was playing out with Isaac and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Even Jacob, the one he loved, did not get conceived this time.
You didn't read that part of the Bible that God said because Leah was hated, God opened her womb.
So if not, Leah would have suffered it as well. When I was trying to bring myself out from the bloodline of my father's family, I used Isaiah 49, 24 downward. It says, can a captive be delivered from, can a lawful captive be delivered from the hands of the mighty? Yeah. I went for deliverance, it didn't work until I sat with self-deliverance. Sat in the scripture. And it says the lawful captive can be delivered. So I now say at lawful and the unlawful. Because I've seen that lawful can be delivered, how much more unlawful? It's no longer enough of just me. Hence why when you are praying, you don't just pray me. You pray it down to your lineage. Everything you are doing right now, if you remember your lineage, you will be intentional.
Yeah. And you start asking questions. That's when you discover that this thing has been like, there has been a pattern in your family. So the best way to deal with it is, firstly, before you go ahead to say I do, counter any form of evil pattern in your family.
Well, that's one of the reasons why it was easy for me to forgive my abusers. Yes, it was easy for me to forgive. The moment I understood it, but I decided to use scissors to cut that pattern.
Yeah.
In a way that it cannot be
repeat itself
so
again.
that it will not repeat again after me.
Yes. Hello everyone and welcome. I'm so excited to be here today. And I'm not here alone today. I have someone so special with me. We've been on this for a very long time and I thank God that we are having this today. So kindly welcome my wonderful sister, Sister Kikelomo. She's here with me today. I'm so happy to have you. Finally, we've been on this for a very long time, and you know how time could be in this location. But we bless the name of the Lord that we are here today, and we will be discussing something very significant today, and that is family pattern. So, if you have a young adult, someone in their teen age, or an adult that needs to be here. Even if you are married, you can listen to this. It will be of a great benefit to you. So I would like you to come closer and listen to what God has to tell you today about family patterns. And today I'm not alone. Like I said earlier, she's here with me. And she's so experienced. She's godly. She's a mother. And she has given me her time. I don't joke with that. So I appreciate you, ma. Thank you very much. So my very first question today, yes, like I said, we are going to be discussing family pattern, and we want to look at so many things that's happening around. This is before saying I do. And what we do here is to guide people, to lead them, and to support them before they go ahead to choose whosoever they want to choose a partner. And we do advise people to be calm, be prayerful before they make that choice. It's not something you can just take a decision to do on your own. You need God's wisdom to take that delicate decision. So, and we have so many people out there, they desire godly marriage. Everyone wants a beautiful marriage. And there are so many consequences if you make a wrong choice. So we don't want to make wrong choices. And that is why before saying I do is yes. So, and one of those things that we think causes so much trouble or trauma is this family pattern. So many people are not aware that there are patterns that keep repeating itself. They are not aware. Some are just nonchalant about it. Some always see it as maybe it's just something normal. And it's not normal. I've seen it happen to so many people. Repeated battles, repeated abuse. But today, let's talk about it. I know I've listened to I read your book, that Kikelomo. It was powerful. That book led me to another book, which I think I'm going to be putting up here for anyone who would love to read it. I read it and it was powerful. So with that, I know you have so much experience and you have so much to share with people to encourage them if they are going through one thing or the other. So how was your childhood like? How was it like your childhood? What was it all about? How do you see it? Yeah.
Okay. My childhood was I don't even know how to describe it. It was not such a very pleasant one. Yes, I had beautiful moments of playing with my siblings.
Yes, that's.
Or sometimes we were in school, we had friends, but then there was trauma embedded in different stages of it.
Yeah.
So then I had a mother who did not know how to show love. Not that she did not love.
But she
Because
does.
now I'm talking in retrospect because I'm understanding how our life was and defend her. But if you ask me something, because I said my mother didn't love me, I didn't care. But I would say that she did not know how to show love and
How to express.
her own childhood and family and all of the things that surrounded her as well, could have affected her.
Yeah.
So I would say so because I have a mother who did not know how to show love, and I have a father who was not always around.
Yeah.
So, but when he was around, he tried to make himself lovable and make himself look available to us, in his own few ways. So there are beautiful moments, but my childhood is nothing I want to ever go back to.
Wow. It's not something you
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah. And looking back now, how do you see abuse? What can you tell people about abuse? How has it affected you, impacted your adolescence, your present life? How has that abuse of the past affected you?
Okay, so abuse is in different forms. There's sexual abuse,
Yeah.
there's domestic abuse, even financial abuse, even workplace abuse and all. So the abuse experience I had was first verbal abuse
Okay.
from my mom.
Most of us does.
Verbal abuse from my mom, especially because I was a firstborn, or I am still a firstborn, who at some point she felt I did not display strength or brilliance to some extent. And so she would always throw words at me.
Okay.
Yes, and then she delegated responsibilities to me on time. A lot.
Wow.
more than my age could carry.
Sure.
She didn't think that it was a problem. Yeah, so if probably I did not meet up with some of the responsibilities on time, then she would verbally abuse me.
Wow.
And then my younger sister that was immediate seemed she was quite very sharp. I think it's a second born thing. So she could so she had a lot of areas where she was smart. So most times my mother did comparison. Which so many times when if she weighs both of us on a scale and just see my sister doing better in a particular thing, she just automatically bring me down with her words.
Wow.
Yes. So it went from she just abusing me to I'm not smart to now curses. Which looking back, I would not say maybe she did them intentionally, but when she says, oh, maybe you didn't pass very well again in school or you didn't do very well in
As usual.
she say, so sometimes she will say, I'm very sure that you end up being a pepper seller.
Oh my God.
In which she said that I know that you end up selling pepper and that your sister will come by driving a car to say hello to you in your store where you're selling pepper because she's not sure that I could do well for myself. I'll go far in life.
Wow. Wow, that was so pathetic.
Now that aside, no, that of course that includes beating.
Okay.
Of course, beating several beatings for doing something wrong. You know, a lot of beatings, a lot of dirty slaps here and there because in our mind she's training us. Yes. Then child abuse, sexual abuse now followed suit. That started when I was 7 years old. And it started with our neighbor's son. I can't tell how old he probably was then. Maybe about to go to the university or something, but I was 7 years old. And you know, he said let's do a drama. Let's play daddy and mommy. We had an house help in the house then, but she couldn't speak a lot of English. She's from Badagry.
Okay.
So she couldn't speak a lot of English. However, so she said we should play daddy and mommy. But I think my mother put her in the sewing school to learn just within the short period of maybe like 3 hours. You know, so my mom felt like that 3 hours is not enough to just talk her during the other days. Or maybe we could just be with our neighbor. And our neighbor said, okay, so my younger sister should be on a bed with his younger brother.
Okay.
I should be on a bed with him. So because nobody knew his agenda,
Yeah.
so everybody thought we were all doing playing.
Normal.
So my sister was there and that was him. And to be frank, that was the first time ever in my life that I could see a man's private parts ever.
Wow.
No, and I don't know if I passed out, but I couldn't remember anything. I was woken up when the house help came back and woke me up.
Wow.
And then realized I could not walk.
Oh my God.
Yes, realized I could not walk well, and I kept saying that I'm feeling pains in my private part. I kept saying I'm feeling pains in my private part, and that was where all hell broke loose. By the time my mother came back, it was a lot of war.
Wow.
You know, you would think that was it, but apparently that was the introduction.
When she came back, it was war between you and her, or
no, between
your mom and
the house help and our neighbor. So when my mother could not afford the house help much, but the girl kept trying to explain that it was when she came back to the house help.
Yeah.
So and the only thing I could say was that our neighbor said, let's play mommy and daddy. So because she's an adult, I think she understood what about. And she went there. His sister said it's a lie. At no point did we go in. His mother was also saying probably that, you know. But my mom said, let's assume all of this is not true. This girl was in your house today. She cannot walk very well. She says she's having pains in her private part. Please explain what happened.
Explain what happened.
That's the point where the mother was not like saying, maybe they're sorry or, you know.
Oh
I can't remember everything that really happened, but that was the beginning of sexual abuse for me as a child. So it went from, even after then, my neighbor's brother as well. Because she has her brother living in her house. So you know, so it was just different category. My mom's younger brother as well. One is on holidays. So now my mom's always very comfortable
with him.
our younger brother. So my mom's the first born. He's the last one of 7 children. So you know the age. Yeah. So my mom trusts him because they also like him around. You know, so he was doing his, yeah. And you know, at night, trying to touch me. But I didn't, well, because I and my mom we're not friends.
I understand that, yeah.
So it's not like I would tell her. So as I was growing, I began to keep things to myself. I used to be very annoyingly quiet or reserved. Yes, I could be talkative, but then other times I could be annoyingly quiet, or should I say, looking unhappy, such that if whenever people are around, or maybe my cousins, they want to go for a party or something, they will ask to go with my younger sister, because when she gets no, she gets there, they're all happy. She's also happy. She's dancing. But if they go out with me, they say I will sit down and be looking,
because there was so much going on here, Mike.
looking moody and unhappy. So my mother did not understand those things as signs. Yeah, so I was just keeping quiet because I didn't know. Well, I didn't know what it was, but the height for me was when I was 13. By that time, I was a lot. I've grown. So 13 years old is actually not a baby. I've grown a lot. I was about to write my junior YEC. Sorry, is this question for me to explain the abuse? I mean, I'm just let me know. The height was 13 years old. Let's leave that. So I don't take all of the time.
Yeah. That's so much of an experience to go through. It's so pathetic. I'm so sorry about that. But those periods you were unable to explain to your mom because of the way she treated you.
Yeah, because of the way she was raising us, especially me. So I could not tell her those things, because as I was growing up, I realized that I couldn't trust her with some information.
Yes, that's what.
So I couldn't, yeah, because children are smart. So I could calculate that anything that would make her upset or turn against me and say, "Oh, you did this and that," why So I just started
You
keeping
just kept
stuff.
to yourself. Yeah.
And
And there was no one around you that.
since I did not have physical things that, like, one of when I was 7.
Yes.
So but the one of when I was 13 was the height, like, and it seems like everybody she trusted
They were just.
around her, but the problem that her children had, and she did not know. But the one of when I was 13 was my aunt's husband, and this man is more like a well-to-do person who, when you go to him and you have financial needs, he will always come
Always
through.
support.
So even in his community, people liked him because he helps people to get jobs.
So no one could ever
He
think.
doesn't like anything, any problem. What money can do, he tries to solve it for the community, solve it for family and co. So everybody loves him, and that's why when he gives judgment on a matter, people try to listen because he's a wise person. However, because my mother sent me, my dad said I should go there. That was closer. The house was closer to my school. I wanted to write junior work, and my mother was always giving me too many chores to do.
And you wanted an escape route.
That is not sure that I'll be able to pass the exam. The stress my mother was putting me through. That's why I should go there. She did not want me to. She couldn't explain it because she and my aunt did not like each other.
Wow.
So she didn't want me to go there. But my dad said I should, and I went, and that was like one of the worst decisions I think.
My goodness.
She did not know, honestly, but I went there. Now there in their house, I'm now like the youngest, because the youngest child is older than me, so I'm like the youngest in the house, and I'm the type of kid now that sometimes I'm just sad or keeping to myself because sometimes they're annoying. But pedophiles watch.
Yeah.
They don't just jump.
That is what I was to say. They know when.
Pedophiles don't just jump.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see so many animals, just like when a lion wants to pick one, you watch and look for which one is approachable with which one can I hold down, which one
Who
is
is the next prey?
which one who is weak. Yes, and what's the area of weakness? So you study the area of weakness and all of that. And so one day I wanted to go out with my cousin, and she said that let's ask daddy, because we used to call him daddy. But because she knows that our mom will not allow us, I feel like our mom and my mom were not besties. So the same way she's not like a fan of me. But my dad is our brother. Her husband agreed to me coming. So she too, she could not say no.
No.
So that's how I ended up in their house, just to write for the period of exam. And I said, "Oh, so let's go ask him." So we went to ask him. I said, "I want to go out with." I said I was going to go. So I went to meet him. So I want to go out with your daughter tomorrow or something, that you have to ask for permission. I said, "It's not a problem. I can go." And then I left, and then he called me back. He now then said, "Oh, that do I like when he does things that will make him beat me and spank me, or things that will make him make him hug me and kiss me.
Oh my God.
So I didn't know that.
And you were just 13 then?
Yes, I didn't. That was year 2000.
Wow.
I didn't know that he had a plan. So you asked me for consent, disguised.
I
And
understand.
I said, I want the one that you would, hug me and kiss me.
Oh,
I didn't want.
goodness.
I didn't want situations
He
where.
asked an indirect question.
So yeah, and that was it. From the first I went to write my paper, I came back, was home alone.
Wow.
Or sometimes when there would be nobody at home, and that was the day. As in, you started with kissing, and before you know, it progressed, and with all other so many things. It would give me books on sexual poses and tell me to study them for him.
And there was no one around you to.
So he would say, "You are my girl." So I couldn't even tell his daughter. I couldn't
What
tell
of the wife was?
my auntie. I don't know if she didn't pick it. She didn't know. So it's calculative. He knows when anybody will be at home. He knows when. So
And everything planned out.
knowing that if Kike comes back, she'll be alone, or my eyes is going out at this time, everybody going out. Or sometimes he will assign you an errand just so that I can be alone at home with me.
And he also noticed that you don't speak with your mom that much, that you're not so
My mom, no,
close.
I couldn't go home. Their house is closer to my
But at least when you go on holidays.
He knew that I was supposed to be there for like maybe 2 months. So, but he knew that I would not be able to say it out because there will be nobody.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's only my mom who really respect him.
Oh my
She know that there will
goodness.
be nobody to believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So he
he
took that
did that
advantage.
yes, for 2 years.
Oh my.
So when I was about to go to SS3, that's when I made up my mind. I said I'm personally going to stop this man.
Oh, let's wait there because I'm still going back there. That when did you make your first decision to end such abuse? So how did your exposure? Okay, look, I've asked that question. As you grow into adolescence and adulthood, how does your experience affect your decisions? Maybe your relationships and your sense of self-worth. And that is, most times because of the way we were treated when we were young, we tend to lose our self-esteem. When others are talking, we can't just come up to speak. We feel like we are less of, our colleagues and all of that. Most times we keep quiet a lot because of there was no confidence. Our confidence is just so low. So how were you able to navigate your youthful stage?
Honestly, I don't know. I used to keep quiet in public, like you said. I will keep also even maybe I'm in classroom and the question is asked. I know the answer. I would not say that.
Hmm.
The fear of being shamed, ridiculed. In fact, uh, actually in school, maybe there was, and I met my husband while we were in secondary school.
Okay.
So we met in JSS2, and we were usually in same class, or sometimes there alternators like that. So when even in school, sometimes when you see girls, or sometimes you just look at some girls are the pretty ones, better ones.
Yeah.
As you, sometimes because we went to secondary school where we cut your hair. So sometimes when they cut my hair, my mom will say, see how you just look like a boy.
Oh my.
You are just Zoe Street, no hips, no big,
And that's used to go a long way.
no hips, nothing. So my esteem was nowhere to be found.
Oh my
To
goodness.
take test. Friends, you have clicked. All of us that didn't have boyfriends, you didn't have any boy looking in our direction. So, and then we'll gossip those other ones that similarly look like when they pass by, the guys are whispering
Wow.
and all. So, but I don't know where I got the courage from when I was going to go to SS3 because I feel like that was a game changer for me. Because the decision I made then continued with me. I didn't make a decision and fail again.
Yeah, we're coming to that.
So I don't know what came up, how I got into the reality of some of these things should no longer happen. Should not. This is not what I want to. This my life. I don't know how I got into that realization, and I don't know if it is God that came for me
Just
at that
came
point.
for you. Yeah.
But I just knew that this is not right,
And this should stop.
and this should stop.
Hmm.
So I couldn't stop my mom, but I'd already begun to give her attitude. Anytime maybe she wants to eat me or something, she started knowing that before she eats me, I should just say, this is what you are doing, I will still slap you.
Oh my.
But I cannot give him body languages of you cannot
Just touch me.
eat me again. I don't understand. Whatever it is that you want, this particular situation that happened, it's okay for you to tell me that this one is not right.
Yeah.
Not that you. So I don't know where that came.
That confidence came from.
Yes, but I just realized that I suddenly started becoming bold regarding me, my life and my body. I may not be able to speak out in public as I then.
How old were you then?
I was 16.
Okay.
In fact, going to 16 was when I stopped my uncle. Just noticed I started avoiding him. So my mom was, and funny thing is that even when I left their house, do you know that he still didn't stop because my mom would always still send us there. Sometimes you see on your way to school or your way from school, stop by and greet him and tell him to send you to me.
Okay.
Meaning, oh, you should send money, change anything for the weekend, anything. So he knows he will still see us. So on a morning when I'm going to school, my uncle would then tell my sister, because he has his own live parlor in his house, that's his own living room, he has his own bedroom, he has his own privacy. So he would then tell my sister to excuse us to go and do something, send an errand, and everybody listens to him because you know that by the time you are done,
there's something that will come out. Yeah.
And somebody will take my pinafore up, or I'm going to school, and you will still, yes. So it wasn't also, but I started avoiding him the moment. Sometimes he come to my house when he knows that my mother is not here back. So I just started avoiding this. When all my mom sends on an errand, my younger sister will be the one. I'll tell her that, you know what, be the one to
go there.
Go and tell. So I just greet, good morning, sir, at the door, but I will not go inside. I'll let my sister be the one to tell whatever it is. So he noticed it. I didn't even know. I just felt like I can get away with it. But avoiding him, I'll be fine.
That will be fine.
So one day, now called me back and said, notice that I've been avoiding him. That is it that you don't want to be my girl again?
That manipulation.
This is my gold mine. I just said, yes. Oh, you are sure you don't want to be my girl again? I said, yes. And said, okay, no problem.
And that was the end?
And that was the end. But I'm sure I thought to himself that no problem. Good that your parents, so your father always makes decisions that sometimes you will end up in a situation where money will be needed or they will need my mates to get something. Because he has seen our family over time. He knows my mother, he knows my father. He knows that there will be a time that will come and that I will play into his hands.
Oh my goodness.
And it happened about a year after. After I read my wife, my mother was no more in our life. She was no more in the picture of our life. So it was just us. In fact, we were taken to their house to go and spend the time. All the while where my mother's matter happened. And he didn't come near me. Even when they took me and my siblings to his house, he didn't. But then I got admission to study pre-degree in the in Lagos State University. And then we needed money to pay. And my father said, oh, MoneyGram or whichever one, said the money can't get there until the deadline they gave. Maybe like I realized I needed money on Friday.
Yeah.
And the deadline is Monday. And those MoneyGram are saying money won't get there until Tuesday.
So I had to go to him.
So my dad now said that told his friend and say, okay, please, you and Kike, go to my auntie, my sister's husband, and tell him the situation. And that once the money drop, that you personally, that I said we'll bring it back, because my dad lived abroad intermittently while we were there. So it's not like he stayed with us. So the man took me there, my dad's friend took me there and explained the matter to him. And the man had still sent him on an errand and said, you know this downstairs part of my house, all these malam that are always there. Can you just help me to go and tell that particular one? What's he doing? Go and just sort that matter. So sent him on an errand. And the dad looked at me and said, do you remember when you told me you don't want to be my girl again? I said, yes, sir. He said, so I have the money. The money we needed was 50,000. He said, so I have the money as we are sitting down. He said, but I'm going to tell you, the father's friend, to tell your father that I don't have the money. Because he thought that he was going to, and if I didn't pay the money, the admission was going to be lost. So he thought I was going to buy me. And that day I said to myself, I said, if God does not do it, then I'll forfeit this. And I still told him no, and I turned him down. And when my dad's friend came, he did exactly. He told him, I said, tell Mama Sofu, and I don't have cash I don't have any. He did that at home at the moment. I'm so sorry. He did that. Thinking that maybe I can change my mind. I can come back weekend or say, sir, okay, I've changed my mind.
That's wicked.
She said no. And I prayed that night. That was my first, as my serious prayer of faith. And I said, God, please come true.
Wow.
And I don't know how, but I know that that Monday, I was in Ekpe and I was able to pay.
That's a big one. That's a very big one. Wow. Yeah, let's go on. Let's go. I still have like 2 to 3 questions to ask you before I go. And I hope so many people will be learning from this, and even parents. They need to hear this, especially we mothers. I have a teenager too. So, and I've learned from what you've just said. Um, those signs, what are those signs? The subtle signs from those uh girls. It's not only girls that could be traumatized. We have boys too. Most of them too. We have some boys who have been through abuse in the past. Most of them are not speaking about it. But we have a few ladies that come out to speak about it, just like you. What are those signs? Those are the maybe like 2 to 3 signs you will see in your girl that you like. Let me take this up. Is anything like this going on in my girl? The sign of abuse in our teenagers or youth?
Sometimes, a lot of the time, they can be withdrawn.
Okay.
Just is to study, once you know their personality, the moment you see changes. Now, sometimes they can be withdrawn, sometimes they can be overly expressive.
Okay.
All of a sudden, not like they are not being expressive is bad, not like being withdrawn is bad, but anytime you see a change in their person, you can have a conversation with them. So to know if it is if it is puberty that is further kicking in,
Yeah.
or
Or something else.
triggering this switch so that it can be addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because teenage stage is one of a very
I
fantastic.
tell you.
A lot of things is going on in their mind. I am looking as if they can handle it because
Yeah.
they seem to have they can understand. They seem like they understand the environment, can predict reactions and all of that. And start thinking. I think I'll make this decision. It'll be better.
And most times they feel my mom can't understand. Yeah, maybe
Well, a
she's
lot of African moms did not understand. Maybe our generation are doing better, to be frank. Our generation is doing better because now, even if I come to visit somebody and I notice something in their child, I can call, if you're approachable, I can say, I don't know why is she behaving like this? Sometimes I try to have a conversation. No, I try to be friends and say, how far did you, is there something? And sometimes you hear, well, yeah, but I don't know how to tell my mom. Somebody's talking to me, or I don't know how to. So we just have to learn it. And some of it just starts from being friends.
yes, that's the first thing.
Yes, being friends. And then some other times, sometimes some of these things are deeply hidden. It's a funny approach I'm bringing to this topic now because I've spoken about this over the years and I didn't used to emphasize on the spiritual part of different forms of abuse, especially sexual abuse. However, if it's a pattern that exists in your family or lineage, it will need to hide so that it can operate.
Okay.
So you may not clearly see the sign. You may by yourself make the decision that will make the thing happen.
Just because
Just because
it must happen.
it
It's a pattern.
happen.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the family that I came from, I didn't know then, but if they did not sexually abuse you, you will sexually abuse somebody.
Oh my God.
And this is something I noticed from my dad's side of things.
Okay.
Yeah. So it means then that somebody who ordinarily may not even want to touch you can be a victim. Maybe they came for holiday. They are not related to you, I'm not saying, but it will, because you are carrying it,
Yeah. There is
it will
something. Yeah.
need somebody to be unfortunate enough to play the culprit. I don't know if it's still ambiguous.
Yes. No, it's okay. I try to.
Maybe I don't know if it's still ambiguous. My uncle, my aunt's husband,
Yeah.
that's my uncle, right? Who was sexually abusing me. His son was also sexually abusing me in their house.
Hmm.
And so I tried to report the son to the father. At least if I cannot stop the father, I should be able to. I reported the son to the father, and he was drinking cornflakes that day. I was just saying, okay, if he does it again, let me know. He didn't call that child. Now, looking at what that boy is doing, and years after, my younger sister went to leave them. By the time we became complete orphans, my younger sister went to live with them, and this same son
still try to do.
just tried to sexually abuse my younger sister. I'm saying that this guy picked up pedophilia from somewhere.
From his father.
Yeah.
His father.
Yeah, and they may not have discussion about it
I tell you.
because it's spiritual. Now, if you look at other members of the family, at different points, you can see somebody, what happened? They took her to the hospital. Somebody tried to rape her. Oh, somebody, let's call it. He tried to molest this other person's child.
Yes.
Then you now see some. You don't know what happened to them, but you now begin to see displays. Some are being promiscuous displays. I'm not saying being promiscuous is always because you're sexually abused. Now, because I've seen the patterns in the family, I can begin to say maybe the reason why this one is behaving like this is because if you trace it, I'm saying tracing back to 30 years ago, there are examples of sexual abuse in my father.
In their lineage, yeah.
So me, I can be born on my own and not God because of the lineage where I was born into.
So that bloodline.
Somebody must do something, or I do something to somebody.
I understand. Life is spiritual. Until we get to learn that, then we are not ready for healing. So many people, just like sexual abuse, we have some people in their lineage, it's physical abuse. Yeah. They must eat the wife, or the wife must eat the husband, you understand? So it's always like that. There is a repetition of pattern. And that is what everyone should learn from this. They should learn that if there is any pattern of abuse, either of any of those abuses, then we should find a way to stop it now. Yeah. Be the savior for your lineage so that pattern will stop with you. And like what you said the other time, some people don't want to do it. Even those people that come into abuse, they are not interested in doing something like that. But because that person is carrying something, she's carrying a kind of stigma that must be abuse. There's something about her that is calling for abuse.
There's a label.
Yes, a label.
There's a label that you're carrying about and you don't know. Like I'm using myself as an example because I don't want to. Okay, our time was running. I'm using myself as an example because I don't want to look like if I'm generalizing it.
Yes.
You know, but I feel like for me then I would say maybe so it looks as if all the people who should protect me, they were wanting a piece of the cake of what?
Of what? That's it.
Do you understand? Of a little child. So while dealing with, I would say to everyone, but while trying to deal with physical problems, also try to check if there's a spiritual because that's one of the reasons why it was easy for me to forgive my abusers. Yes, it was easy for me to forgive. The moment I understood it, but I decided to use scissors to cut that pattern. Yeah. In a way that it cannot be repeat itself again. So that it will not repeat again after me.
Yes, it will not repeat itself.
I don't know if I'm answering the question or you're saying something else.
You're actually answering the question more than the way I ever expected. And I'm so glad you're doing this because it's not just about you. You are doing something great to those out there. Some people they are yet to come out to speak and they are going through this. Some parents are not aware that something like this, maybe what they've experienced in their past, and they did not open up to their children that when I was young, someone abused me. And that child too is going through the same. And she's not aware too because of her nonchalant attitude, or maybe because she's not sensitive enough in the spirit. So what we are saying is let's be friends with our children so that we'll know whatever they are going through, their struggles. They'll be able to expose their struggles to us, number one. Then number two, if there is a pattern, the first thing to look out is, even though you are dealing with it physically, then spiritually.
You may not know there's a pattern. That's it.
Until, yes.
Do you know many times people realize that patterns are patterns when it has happened.
It has happened continuously.
Oh no, maybe that happened. Now I realize that somebody now said, that nobody said it also happened.
And that's what I'm saying. It's because people are not speaking up.
So in the physical, choose the environment carefully. Protect them as much as you can, but you cannot overprotect them.
But is it safe for you to tell your child, this is what I went through when I was young?
When they are old enough to understand, you cannot give them information that is older than their age. But because of what's happening right now, there's some information that maybe years ago may not be needed for a 10-year-old child. But now there's so much information everywhere. You don't tell them. Nobody else there. Yes. So you tell them, but you protect the environment physically. Then you protect the environment. You watch their lifestyle and mood and try to pick out any changes. Also, try to be conversational with them. Then,
but most times, some don't. They would not want to speak.
Then the spiritual space. See, man, the spiritual gates
as a mother
of those children to the extent that you will see it.
Yes.
You will hear it. And when as in something wants to happen, something's about to happen. And even if the child is saying no because the child is afraid or is trying to protect the person, because sometimes the person is someone that they have already loved. The person first bought their love first before trying to say whatever. But you can pick it and then you can be able to stop it.
Okay.
So that means that mothers, if you know you want to have a child, then you must be ready to take a order back.
Even father, everybody should be responsible.
Sorry, both parents. Yes. Because fathers are usually left, they usually leave themselves in all of this. If when my mother was saying no, my father too said, okay.
Okay, then
But like you in the physical, maybe you go leave my sister alone. I don't want to go to this. You know what I'm trying to say? Even if she picked it, let's even say she picked it. But because there's you must submit to your husband's part of things, she allowed
to let's go. Yeah.
So, but if both parents, there's nothing wrong. Especially if the priest of the home is in charge of these things.
Oh my
God. You can pick some of these as that fit into that, because if you not protect them and there's nobody sexually abused them, like I said, they may now end up being the one. They find out that they stumble on pornography from somewhere you didn't expect. But that the devil will not come from them. Like if you don't attack it spiritually,
bless you.
If you don't attack, if it's a spiritual problem now.
Yeah.
If you don't,
this thing is spiritual.
Lock them in. Whoever will still come for them.
Yes, I know, right? I know.
Yes, so we've seen situations where sisters,
because he wants it to continue.
We've seen situations where sisters started having sexual intercourse with each other. So children they don't go out
because of behavior, yeah.
But because something is coming from
somewhere and it must continue.
So when we deal with this in physical and then we go for trauma counseling and all of that, let's also deal with it in spiritual.
Yes. Me, I'll take spiritual first. Let's guide our gates as mothers, even as parents. Let me not use mothers because it is not sounding so good when you're talking of mothers to be responsible for your children. Both parents should just come up and do this thing so that there won't be continuation of abuse. Yeah. The devil wants something. There's something I said. There was a podcast that was one topic I spoke about, this bloodline of a thing. And I was referring to this abuse. If your mom had gone through series of abuse, maybe from your father and all of that, if you are not careful, all of you will experience the same thing. Just because the devil will not just let it end with your mom until you come to the knowledge that this is a problem. My mom, and like what you said, if it has not happened, you will know that there is a problem. So until you not look back and say, this is what my mom experienced. Why am I experiencing the same thing? That is where you now come to like, what is the problem? And you now look down to your lineage. You remember your mom, your grandma, something like that happened to her too. And you start asking questions. That's when you discover that this thing has been like that, has been a pattern in your family. So the best way to deal with it is, firstly, before you go ahead to say I do, counter any form of evil pattern in your family. Some people will just go ahead to say I do. Like I used to tell people, if two people are coming together, it's two altars. You are coming with your altar. I'm coming with my altar. So if there is any form of abusing on my altar and I join to yours, two altars are going to be working.
I'm not married into this. In fact, I was conceived outside wedlock.
Oh my God.
So let's even assume she did not eventually marry my father. But because I was conceived from that lineage, it was going to happen. So even if she marries somebody else that thing is in their lineage, it will not be only me. They'll not wonder,
Why is our own like that?
that's one of the reasons. That's one of this Reverend Bachore was teaching in World Bank. I just finished. Before you start sleeping with somebody, you need to
I listen to that.
no try to know spiritual whatever.
Yes, because you are going to be establishing a new altar. So I used to advise people before you go ahead to say I do. Forget about I love you, or forget about getting hold, or forget about the pressure anywhere. Just look at yourself. What are those things that are happening in my? If you don't need to go far. What happened in my mom's life? What happened? What happened to my mom? Did she enjoy her marriage? You know, this pattern we're talking about. There are some patterns that is so positive. It's not everything. Everything is not negative. You understand? So if
I'll be blessed.
they enjoy blessings. That's what I'm saying. So if you notice, this is what happened in my with my mom. She never enjoyed her marriage, and it was before you go ahead to say I do. Pray to God about it. Make sure that altar of abuse, mental abuse, whatsoever abuse your mom experienced, make sure you pull them down through prayers before you go ahead.
Now, I will say that sometimes, if God will have you marry that person, not like God forces anything on anybody, but if God knows that, this union, when they come together, they'll provide some solutions that will solve the problem of humanity, solve kingdom problems, and want them to be together. Sometimes, some things may not show before you get married.
He will allow it. He will allow it to.
Yeah. Not because he wants it to happen. See, what happens that if you maintain a relationship with God, and you are always hearing, not God said, but God is now saying, you will be picking things per se. So it's allowing you to marry, but it's not showing you all because you will run. But you will run. But that matter, it can only be dealt with. You can't pray. No, there's some matters you can pray before you marry. Pray the prayer of agreement. Now, this prayer of agreement is different from the prayer of agreement of when a man is now having sexual intercourse with a woman. That agreement is on another level now, because you know that sex itself is a worship.
Yeah.
You know that sex itself is spiritual. The agreement at that level, the kind of mountains it can bring down, a simple let's just pray, brother and sister, may not be able to bring it. That's why I believe sometimes, based on, because I've been trying to study and observe so many spiritual things in marriages and homes as well. So sometimes I feel like it is when you now marry the person and asking, where is this one coming from?
But God told me I should.
But God told me to marry this person. But what if you put your ear to God here? You will be able to quickly, either it shows you before it happens, what is about to happen, and telling you, stop this thing, something wants to happen.
Yeah, that reminds me of a lady who spoke about what happened. It's still the same pattern. Yeah, she was talking about a pattern in her family that her mom got married to her dad as a second wife, and the first wife caused her unknowingly. She said she has never even said it was Wolfbeck last year, 2025, when the pastor was referring to that story. So she said she has never set eyes on that woman, the first wife, but she got to know later in life, and she was doing very well. The husband was marvelous, treating her very well, and she was already like 6 years into the marriage when she just slept that night. Even it was her birthday, and the husband gave her a car, and she was so happy that day. She was like, "Oh, my marriage is going well." And that night she had a dream, and God told her, "This is what's going to happen to your marriage in the next few years." And she woke up. It wasn't looking like her husband. God told her that this man is going to start beating you, what has never happened before. And she was like, "Why would this happen? This man is different from what I'm seeing in my dreams." And she went into, because she was very sensitive, she went into a series of prayer and fasting, and God spoke that something happened. Your stepmom cursed every child that comes out of that woman because she made her cry that all her daughters will eventually crowd must be abused. You understand that all our daughters must be abused, and that curse is still there. And just because the man, the husband is not someone like that, though. She doesn't have the trace of he's not carrying even the trace of abusing anyone, and it looks like he's not even capable of abusing. But because, like you said, that labor, because the labor is there, God said it will happen, and it's not now. In few years, this is just 6 years into their marriage, and she started praying, and God said, "Go look for that woman. You must." She came back. She came back from maybe US or so, and she went to Abuja to look for that woman. And that woman cried and prayed for her that truly I went naked and I cursed all your mom's daughters because what she did to my marriage. And if not, she said now she's free. What about other siblings? What about others? And even our older siblings that have gone through, they don't know that something like that. But because she's spiritually inclined, and that was why God showed it. She has relationship with God. The elder sister has gone through that, and the marriage is scattered and all of that. So that is why um whenever we discover anything, something that thing is not happening in wasn't in their lineage before, but started happening because of our moms. You know what our mom did, and she said if she didn't stop it, it will continue in our own lineage too. That even our daughters will be eventually abused because the man has placed a curse on any daughter that come out of that man.
And when you hear an example of that, when the person did, they will say this person will say, "I've never done it before. It's my first time." And people are saying, "Well, it's your first to be a first time. You're going to be a first time, but it's first time by association as put it." So these patterns matter. You know, if you want to look for example of patterns, from the Bible, let's say the same way of pattern of blessings came down from
Abraham.
the same way they have pattern of the women not getting
Pregnant on time. I read that recently. And you know something that amazed me when I was reading was Abraham, when he got to Egypt, he spoke to he told the wife to lie that you are my sister, and so that they won't kill me because of you. And when the God's now, because of that woman, because of Sarah, inflicted the house of Pharaoh. And because of that, when the following morning, it was like, you told me she's your sister. Why did you lie to us? That same thing happened with Isaac.
which
Isaac too lied.
Isaac was not there when his father lied.
He wasn't there. But it was my daughter that called me. That, Mom, have you read that place? That thing that Abraham did the other
And the scenario played out, just the same time played out years after. And Isaac did the same thing his father did. And his son Jacob even became lie. That one, you don't need to lie. He himself became lie.
Became a deceiver, yeah.
Abraham and Sarah did not have children on time.
The same thing played out.
The same thing was playing out with Isaac and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Even Jacob, the one he loved, did not get conceived this time.
You didn't read that part of the Bible that God said because Leah was hated, God opened her womb.
So if not, Leah would have suffered it as well.
When I read, I said, God is so kind. I said, because she was hated, God opened her just to compensate her for the hatred she's experiencing. Because this Rachel who said, do you want my husband? Give me your mandrakes so that you can have my husband. And it was so obvious that she wasn't loved. And that was why they had children. That was why she had children on time. But Rachel, as was.
The same way if you marry into someone in family that is blessed, if they do small work and everything is blessed, they are prosperous.
The same
way their children too, they don't have to labor to be prosperous. They start a business, is thriving. Oh, they're managing the family business, or is thriving.
But someone started that blessing.
Yes. So hence why for everybody, I would say you choose what you want to go flow down from you to your aid. It's no longer enough of just me. Hence why when you are praying, you don't just pray me. You pray down to your lineage. Everything you are doing right now, if you remember your lineage, you will be intentional.
Yeah.
Narrative for my family. I've changed the narrative of Of course, I've turned it to
Blessed.
I've changed it to a family of blessed. So if I sow a seed, I'm carrying a bless for me, my husband, my children, and my kids.
Yes.
That's what I say. For me, my husband, and my lineage. That's how I pray it. And the same one when I was trying to bring myself out from the bloodline of my father's family, I use Isaiah 49. 24 downward. It says, can a captive be delivered from, can a lawful captive be delivered from the hands of the mighty? It means that in that everything that I'm saying lawful, meaning
they have a legal
that you ought to be in that captivity. Your father did something and you have to be. For me, as I am like this, I was sworn to masquerades.
Oh my God.
That story for another day, so that we don't see anything. Yes, I was sworn to masquerade to be their cheerleader for among the cheerleader for my generation, to literally be dancing after them.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I used to be in the choir. So those kind of songs, I should have probably be singing behind masquerade. And the moment I clocked 18 years old, as in I can be sure, masquerade started coming for me in my dream. Yes, they would always start chasing me up, looking for, I went for deliverance, it didn't work until I sat with self-deliverance, sat in the scripture, and it says the lawful captive can be delivered. So I now say, at lawful and the unlawful, because I've seen that lawful can be delivered, how much more unlawful? So I sat down with Isaiah 24, I don't know if you joke with it, 24 downward, up to 26 or 27, wherever it stops. Yes, so I sat down with it and say, I have been delivered.
So that was your scripture?
Yes, from every captivity in this. I'll mention the name of that family. And eventually, I was led to change my surname completely. So the surname of my father's name was Kole Osho. Now, it looked like Kole Osho. Sometimes it cannot make me not make, and that's why the guy that did Kole Osho movie, that guy, I need to greet him and thank him. I've not watched it, but I've heard so much. I watched a clip, but I don't know. It's showing that indeed they are building house for idols. If you pattern with idols, they come with different things for your lineage. And among which hardship, aside from sexual abuse down in my father's side, there was hardship where you will build something, you try to labor for it, and at some point it falls down, and you start again from the beginning. So I use that scripture to break myself out. So if any time I'm seeing something and I don't understand, I go to Jeremiah 33:3. And I say, you said, ask of me and show me great and mighty things that I know. I say, God, this thing happening right now in my life, or I just have this dream. I don't understand it. What does it mean?
Guide me.
Is there something I should know? Yeah. When I was about to get married, I was praying it. Is there something in this guy's family, in this guy's lineage I should know? I didn't know that there was still some unfinished work of my own life. But they were not going to show unless I am
married.
Because those ones, their maturity is in marriage. Their maturity is not before marriage. So you can't deal with it when you're single.
I don't understand that.
You can't. That's why I say, if God shows you
everything, you won't get married eventually. You know what?
So it's for you to stay with God and keep working with Him. He says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. He says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow. So if God asks you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
that means it's going to be with you.
It's going to be with you. So even if He didn't tell you that it's valley of shadow of death, you're saying, God, I hope this marriage, there's no valley of shadow of death. He will tell you the small one you can tackle with. He will not tell you. But He knows that if you will go with Him, He is going to lead you. Say your rod and your staff. But so you don't get married and now get busy and you now forget God and try to physically tackle the matter.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We've learned a lot today. In fact, I wanted to ask, what was the scripture that really broke the camel's back? But you've spoken about it. That is Isaiah 49 from verse 24. So if you are experiencing anything like that, just go along and read that Bible verse. Then prayerfully go before the Lord. It will show. He said He will show you great and mighty things that you do not know. And I believe that so many people out there. With this little thing we've been able to do today, I know so many people will be liberated. And I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. This is like I debated you.
No, this is actually what I wanted to hear, and this is actually what people want to learn from. So we did not deviate. Are still on before saying I do. We're going on a short break, and afterwards, we still have a lot to discuss. Thank you. Welcome back to Before Saying I Do. And still with me here is my wonderful sister. She's been here with me. And my next question is, what scripture or scriptural truth helped you start healing? What scripture?
Okay, I would say maybe not a particular scripture as such, but an understanding of when Jesus died on the cross.
Okay.
When Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are
doing."
Because these people beat Jesus, made him walk long distance, put thorns and all of those things on his body. And Jesus is saying they did not know what they are doing.
Wow.
It makes sense to say maybe the devil or the enemy influenced those people to do what they did with Jesus. So say for me to say, if my abusers knew better, they probably might have done better.
Yeah.
Either way, forgiving them is for me, because I believe that if Jesus died with unforgiveness, he would not come out of hell.
And he won't be our savior.
He will not be our savior, but he had to let unforgiveness go for the greater good, for the bigger goal of going to where I'm coming out victorious. So for me, for what God has called me to do, for my assignment and my destiny, I cannot hold unforgiveness. So I forgive them for me.
For your sake. For your own sake.
Because I saw Jesus do the same thing. I've lived better and freely.
Yes, because unforgiveness is too big of a weight to carry.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And my next question is, at what point did you make the decision? You've answered that question earlier, but I just wanted to lay emphasis on it so that everyone out there will learn, especially the singles, those that are planning to get married, before they go ahead to say I do. At what point did you make the decision that this pattern would end with you? And what intentional step helped you out of it? Is it prayer, counseling?
Okay. So there were several patterns, like I said, from my father's house, which as I grew in my relationship with Jesus Christ, I started to understand more. So I feel like the moment Jesus Christ realized that he could entrust me with some information, he started showing me more. Which sometimes people say grow in the school of power and revelation. Sometimes it's just constant praying and fasting, studying the word. Many times from the place of prayer, I hear things and so I go to the level where it's showing me things. I'll just have a dream about something. I'll say, what does this dream mean? Then yes. And other times I ask questions, maybe when something is not going well in my life. So I will ask questions. Like for instance, sometime in 2016, something particularly in particular happened to me, such that when there's money in the business account plus money with me, any client who called us will not hire us until there is no
money.
Once there is no money, we are left like 900. Any clients that make inquiry, then no matter the amount, they will hire us. But until we exhaust that funds, nobody else was going to hire us. And people will make inquiries, send emails, reach out on social media, and make inquiries. So initially I was thinking, what's maybe just business, is that pricing, or is it? Initially it was that initially. And then it got so what was happening back. So it happened for so long, and I like, God, something is wrong. And I remember, I rather than ask God, I was lamenting. I went to the mountain. I said, God, what's happening? And you know I'm a faithful girl. And you know Didn't even say a word. But I just told him to start writing my book.
Wow.
Then in September of that year, or the first day of September, I believe, or the year, or somewhere around the first few days of September, from my sleep, as I was about to open my eyes, I just heard 2 hours praises.
Sorry.
2 hours praises. I knew God was talking to me.
Wow.
So I started doing 2 hours praises every day. I didn't know what for. I didn't know why. And I was doing that.
Back to back.
And from the middle of September, things just changed.
Mm.
So now during 2017 January, during fasting and prayer season in church, I remember that the bishop preached and said, ask specific prayers. I said, not just God, give me bread, give me bread. If there's something that happened in your life that you do not like, have you asked God questions about
it?
But I thought to myself, if I didn't ask questions about what happened last year, if it might happen again, because I did not know I didn't know what happened, what led to it, and how to avoid.
Yeah.
So I just prayed right there and said, God, tonight, my prayer point is that what happened in 2016, I know you eventually, things stabilized and became better since then. But what happened? I said that in the evening service in church, and I usually pray around 4 a.m. Then I woke up from a dream at 4 a.m. And then immediately after praying, worshiping God, and I said, God, so how far? 2016, what happened? And I said, but I just showed you in the dream.
Wow.
Like, because I prayed it didn't work for me to be. He said, but I just showed you. I said, and now started writing, because I usually like to write my dream first. I started trying to remember the dream and write it. And I saw that I was being cheated. But it's in the family. So I said, God, I don't understand. What does this dream mean? It looks like I'm being cheated. And it's not like it's a particular person or sort. It's looking like it's family kind of cheating. And then he said, and the yoke shall be destroyed by the anointing. I said, God, that was how 30:27 now. I picked my Bible. So that 30:27. So where should I anoint? What will the anointing do? Tell me now. That is the kind of relationship I built
with God.
with God, where he started showing me different things to do. Like this example I gave, he showed me where to anoint and told me to go back to the house where I was born. Showed me a particular balcony and told me to go anoint the place. That's how specific. To the extent that he told me that this was on a Friday. I decided I was going to go there on a Monday because I don't want to go alone.
I remember I read that from your book. Yeah.
I decided I was going to go there on a Monday because I did not want to go alone.
Yeah.
You won't believe that overnight, I still asked again, God, okay, thank you for that other one. Now, why are masquerades always looking for me? What do they want? Why? He didn't give me an answer because the answer is still related.
Yeah.
Rather, a masquerade came to me in the dream, ran after me as they usually do, and was trying to plead with me. I said, Kike, let's talk. And this time around, remove the mask. I was showing the face of a relative.
Wow.
I was saying, Kike, let's talk. Because most times I run and then I'm inside. So I opened the window, was trying to plead with me. Kike, let's talk. For the first time, unveiling. And I knew that it was not like it is their relative. It is just a symbol to say it is still family related.
Yeah.
Now the masquerades are asking me to let's negotiate. Don't come and anoint that place on Monday. Let's talk.
Let's talk about.
And I said when I woke up, I said, except I'm not alive on Monday. Because if I'm alive on Monday, I am coming there and I am anointing. And those are the kind of things I built with God. I started in 2009 was when I first discovered that it's like there were causes, there were negative patterns, there were things hanging in my family. And I began from that 2009. I started reading books. I read Breaking Generational Curses. I read Satan Get Lost, all by Bishop David Oyedepo, with scriptures. So I would go in a fast. At one point, one of my aunts said, Kike, I hear you fast a lot. You are not even if there's a problem in this family, even if there's a spiritual problem, You are not the cause of it. Don't kill yourself. And I'm like, no, I don't want to end up like everybody. So I'm not going to stop. So you find me doing warfare, praying, fasting, studying the word, reading books that are similar to what I'm looking for. And that one of 2017 was like the height for me of that anointing.
From 2009.
From 2009, that 2017 was like a peak. From the moment I went to anoint that place that night, I went to the mentee. And right there, God told me to change my name. Gave me a gave me a name. He was not confirming and said, the name he gave me. Like I said, my father's name was Kole Osho, meaning to build house for the gods. And God told me to change it in the place of prayer. So I didn't have one-off encounter.
Several encounters.
I had several encounters. What happened is the level of problem or mountain where I'm coming from, it was not one-off. Not like one-off cannot deal with it, but you grow in capacity. So God started bringing them as He saw that I'm growing and He's giving me instructions. I'm doing it. This girl is still doing well. You want some more? Yes, let's deal with more. Okay, you want some more? Let's deal with more. So because there's more, some people in your family is just one problem and want to deal with it, that's all. But some people in their family, they have several because you don't know the kind of vows and covenants that they have entered to. This one says to build house for the gods. That is it. And God said, change your name to Wole Osho, meaning to demolish the house of God. So that day when I went to anoint that place and I was praying, I said, I demolish every house. I, Kikelomo, I come to demolish every house that it got. And God said, this is why I named you Wole Osho, like Kushe. That very night, before I went to sleep, because I was praying with my mentee, I had to anoint her before we went to sleep. Because I knew that there was going to be a rage in the kingdom of darkness, and they may want to come and try us. So I anointed her so that she doesn't use her head to carry what she doesn't know. Tell her because she was not yet married. Means I was not yet married. So she could not sleep. Me, I slept. She could not sleep. She said something was dancing over us. That initially when I was saying, let's go and pray somewhere, she thought I was exaggerating spiritual examples of what was going on that I told her. She said something, anytime she tries to close her eyes, something taps her. She opens her eyes and something is hovering over us.
Wow.
And I said, what? I said, whatever it is I was hovering over us, did it calm down? She said, no. I said, it can calm down. God just over you that we did not come into the I respect your family.
Oh my God.
Family, what was I saying? From that day, I started getting calls, emails, life-changing, destiny-changing opportunities.
Wow.
But
it took you almost 9 years
of dealing with different stuff. Like, so, and it was that same year, on the 30th of December of that year, that my husband asked me to marry.
Wow.
Because I've been trusting God to be married. Remember I said I was single. And at different points, when they say raise prayer point, did we get married? I said, God, I want to marry this next year, this new year, I want to get married. And I also raised the prayer point before that same year again that I wanted to get married. But the level of things that were on ground I needed to deal with, they were just too much.
So that is where it comes with people who are yet to marry. So this is for them.
Yes.
There is a lot to deal with before you go ahead to say I do. There is a lot. So try to find out. Don't use this period to be reckless. Don't be reckless with your life. Don't be reckless with your life. You need to deal with these things before you go ahead to say I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even after my husband came and said let's get married, we started our dates. We're going to camp. We'll go and pray. We're going to church. We'll do video. Say, Father, is there anything we need to know? We need to work on. Is there any negative pattern that needs to be broken before we get married? And the amount of work I did before I got married, if I had not done one bit of it before getting married, I'll be unmarried by now. Yes, because even after I got married, the wind was trying to blow us.
The storm was on.
But the amount of things that we have already dealt with, it now remained. So when some things wanted to start springing up, I said, God, no, this should not be. What exactly is going on? And he showed me, I said, this ones is marriage that can bring them out. It's only marriage that can reveal these particular ones.
Well, it is understandable.
Yes. For instance, there was an accommodation situation that we were just having, for instance. And God told me and said, exactly, somebody was offended in your mom. Like, he showed me. He said, first thing he said, look at you. I'm 35. You don't even have a spoon to your name. And you are married. Do you know why? Because there was something was just kept happening. So I needed to move. So before I got married, I was living in different places. But I didn't realize it was a problem because I was single. God now said, you didn't realize it's a problem because you were single. The marriage is now revealing it, because since you have gotten married, in how many places have you guys have house? So this one will happen, they'll ask you to, is it that they ask you to go, or something happens, or then you can't stay there again. I just can't live here again. I just can't. And God said, they said, because when you were young, there was someone who lived with us. And the person had a misunderstanding with my mom. And then he said, and my person was moving out. And other people that came with the person were also moving out. And then he said, Ekpe Ruben. I was about to take my bath. And then he continued what he started with me in the morning, in the midnight, my mid-morning prayer, and said, Ekpe Ruben. Said, the curse of Ruben. That is it. I then went to the Bible. I went to go for curse. And I heard that the cause of Ruben is instability. The moving from one place to the other. He said, so the person was so upset and said, let's see if our own child will be able to live in a house. We'll be able to have a house of our own.
Oh my goodness.
As I said, my husband was frustrated with the accommodation matter because he said, like, if not for God, he was like, what's wrong? Something's wrong with this girl that I married. What is the problem? Can we just have peace over? And God was revealing that it's you. He said, and because the person was offended and placed the curse on me. And I said, but God, I don't want to the Bible again. I said, I saw that the way the curse ended was that a blessing was pleaded. Yes. A prophet overturned the curse and placed a blessing on me.
Let Reuben leave.
Yeah. At that point, I said, who's my prophet on this spot? To be frank with you. And the next day was a Sunday. I said, I'm going to church. I said, Bishop Oyedepo, God has sent it to me. I kid you not. And it's the service called Breaking Generational Curses. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to church tomorrow. Let my word come forth from the altar. Let the word come forth from me. I don't know him personally. I've not met him personally. But let my own word come that will overturn this and release blessing over me. Since that day, we didn't have own matters again. We've been here now for a long. Since that day, we just received peace of mind. But I didn't know that I didn't even know
something like that.
Now I'm saying it took so much that this kind of thing could have ended the marriage, because I would just wake up and say, you're not living here again. No, I'm not sleeping in this house again. I kid you not. I cannot sleep in this house again.
You just take that decision on you.
Yeah, as I was telling, that we can't. Or sometimes I was having dreams about the house.
Wow.
So it means that even if I'll put out all I said, I would start moving into places where there will be issues. Maybe the landlord doesn't want to rent it out, but somebody rented it and they took it. Maybe so that you don't understand. I'm saying that when there's something spiritual, making decisions, the wrong decision. You will find yourself in that wrong situation, and it will be you who put yourself in that situation, or somebody who has right over you put you in that situation. And when God revealed it, was prayed over. But this one, I couldn't have done as a single, because as a single, was a single have a house of their own? Was it compulsory? But you wouldn't have you.
So you get mine.
Yes. So all of these things, it just requires praying before you get married.
Wow.
And then healing. I went for therapy.
Okay.
I went for therapy. I did not just pray. I went for therapy, guys.
Hmm.
Yeah. Where I was paying per hour.
Wow.
Yeah. To talk. And when before I got married again, I also booked therapy. We went a day or 2 days before my wedding. I said I'll go for therapy, and I have said all sorts there. But I said I want to go for another one with my husband. Let him hear me
What you've been
say
through
this thing
again.
so that he can know what he wants. Doesn't want to get married to me. Hearing me talk about my past and how the trauma and how some of the things affected me. I went for therapy. That was beautiful. And it didn't change his mind. You are here.
Thank God. Oh, so who led you to Christ? Who led you?
Jesus found me by himself.
Oh my God. Just like
I found
Saul.
I found a green Bible in my house. I used to read novels. I used to like to read novels. I read Mills and Bones, all of those things. Yeah. So I just found a green Bible in the house. To today, I don't know who owns that Bible. I found it in my dad's room. I picked it up and I started reading it in place of novels. I took the Bible, I started reading Christian literature. But so from reading the Bible, then I found a book that my mom had, Exploits of Faith by David Oyedepo, and Fulfilling Your Days.
Okay.
From reading the Bible myself,
Yourself.
that was where Jesus and I met.
Wow. That's so beautiful to hear. And my last question, please. You've done so well for us here. What does Eden look like for you now? And for someone listening, what are the advices you like to give to people?
What does healing look like?
Yeah.
Healing looks
Totally.
healing is peaceful. You are
Yeah.
peace. There's no when there's unforgiveness or pain allowed in, there's a heaviness somewhere in your heart that should not be there. So for me, I feel like I have peace in my heart. I don't even remember those things except I have to talk about them. I don't remember them, and I don't see some of those people and feel bitter.
That is it.
In fact, I have helped a few before.
That is healing.
I've helped some of them before, like, such that when I wrote my book, they could not believe that I knew all of that.
And
I was still behaving with them like I did.
Spiritual maturity.
Yeah, but because I have let it I've let it go in my heart. Like I said, the forgiveness is for me.
It's not that.
It's for me, it's not for them. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be unhappy. And then because I like to hear God. Not that I'm always looking for God's voice. But I'm saying the relationship that God and I have built over the years, the kind that helped me walk away from causes, translated me from darkness into his light, that relationship, I don't want anything to tamper with it. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and God said, I've been trying to talk to you for some days. So and God said, I was warning you, you didn't hear.
Oh my.
I was telling you to do this, but no, I don't want to get to that level.
Yeah.
So if just so that I can be with me and God, we can be pals, and I can ultimately make it to heaven, I was ready to let everybody go. Yeah, so like I said, going for therapy is key. Yes, I brought spiritual angle to abuse, but going for therapy, because after you have dealt with the spiritual matters, then the physical matters, because I struggled with masturbation for many years.
Wow.
And I started masturbating when I was 7.
That was the effect.
When the first evil seed was sown, it affected my brain. Yes. So which was part of the reasons why I said I want to even go for therapy before getting married. Like, I realized then that some of the effect of sexual abuse is sometimes you can become a nymphomaniac, where you just want sex uncontrollably. Sometimes you can be an asexual. You don't want anybody to touch you. So some people say, I just don't like it. I just don't want. Sometimes maybe something has triggered it. It's not like I'm saying that maybe they can't do better in the marriage. I'm not saying sometimes, yeah. So I realized that I had relationships, I had guys, even when I said I was going with Christ, does not mean that I was the perfect Christian.
Yeah, I know.
I had guys that some of them would say, let me kiss you. Then I allowed till I decided to, I got to point, I say, no more kissing. But I realized that I did not want any one of them to. to have sexual intercourse with me. So initially it looked like, Kike, I said that you don't want, I will marry you, I promise you, I will marry you. So, and I saw that it happened at different times. There is no as if I don't like this guy, but I don't want to. And not just I don't want to. I started saying, okay, because of God, I don't want to. Then I realized that my body started to shake. And I switched to, I can't explain it, but you just realized that, let me just leave this girl. It's okay. So I realized that there's a reaction that comes when sexual intercourse is the corner.
That's the Holy Spirit.
So I needed to be able to deal with it so that I don't get married and the man that marries me, I still say, don't touch me.
Okay.
You understand? Because I realized that it traumatizes me.
Yeah. The presence of
yes, when it comes to sexual intercourse, it was traumatizing me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I knew that I needed to get help. I needed to discuss it with my husband so that, first of all, for him to know what to expect and for him to be patient. When that happens, because we are in this together, we are going to overcome this together. Do you understand? And for me to start telling myself, this is the man I'm getting married to. It is okay. It is fine. So we prayed about it, but then I went to therapy. So I identified a challenge that I think occurred because of the sexual abuse and approached it both spiritually and
physically. That's a good one. Yeah. So that's a very big one. It's been a spiritual and emotional moment for us on Before Saying I Do this week. But I want to say a very big thank you to my sister here. I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming.
Thank you.
I hope I'll recover from this. I so appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. And I believe that God is using you. He's going to be using you very well for everyone out there. So if you are still going through any form of abuse, or you are still into those sexual behaviors, pornography, and all of that, it is time for you to seek God. Like she said, I was expecting to hear that someone preached to her. But our case is just like Saul, who became Paul. So, and that kind of a thing doesn't happen. It's just randomly. It's not always like that.
That also now leads to patterns. Because, though, if you want to judge by coming out to give your life to Christ, I did that a couple of times.
But when you eyes go.
Yes, it was Jesus Christ. But the altar call one that I went for altar call, the final one was 2007, the 25th anniversary of Winners Chapel.
Okay.
And Adeboye came. That's the one last thing. Kike, no more going out. This one, go out once and forget it. But as my journey with Jesus and me saying it's Jesus or nothing, I was 17 years old. Yeah, like I said, with the Bible. However, now looking back right now, my grandfather was an evangelist.
Wow.
On my mom's side. And he died being a pastor, evangelist, whatever. So, this thing of Christ was coming from that side.
So that covenant was coming from that side.
And because God has a way of paying people back, my grandfather literally died in Badagry in the wilderness. He will refuse to live in the city.
Oh my God.
Because of evangelism, because of all the souls that many times they don't want to listen to him, but he kept staying there to preach to them. So I know that God always has blessings. You cannot serve God and not have blessings. At least there will be some blessings to trail down your lineage.
Yes.
And I believe that
was it.
Dedication of my grandfather to God.
That's what
I feel like that is what showed down. And that is why a child of an evangelist can go and get pregnant. Like I said, I was conceived outside wedlock. Can get pregnant for an unbeliever that is carrying the blood where it's coming from. Do you understand? Because God has chosen me for an assignment.
Yes, and God rewarded.
To demolish the house of the gods. So for that to happen, it needs somebody carrying a Christ-like blessing coming from there. Because you cannot use evil. Jesus said that you cannot use evil to cast out evil. So he needed a Jesus Christ.
That was beautiful, yeah.
Do you see?
Yes.
So that is why my mother would
have to meet
that mistake after.
Yes. Just to deliver that family and break that.
So only has to come carrying that.
Yes.
And that's why there were moments where we cannot define that. You just say that it's God that was himself shielding me because I have chosen you for such a time like this. For that family. Because I'm the child that opened the womb. I'm the first child, first daughter, so yeah.
But your grandfather was an evangelist.
He's like,
wow, that's a big one. So we come to the end of today's program. Before saying I do, I really want to appreciate my sister. She's a mother. You can hear the sound of her baby. I hope you understand. So I want to say a very big thank you for coming here, we are so happy to have you here. And I pray that the Lord God Almighty will continuously use you for this generation and generations to come. Thank you very much. I want you all to please pray for my sister. She's done so much for me. We've been here many hours, and I really so appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is for God. This episode is for God, and it's so precious to me. Thank you. Till we meet again. Have a wonderful day and enjoy Christ.